WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. Hello again, everyone. My name is Stokes Schwartz, and I'm a professor in the Center for Integrative Studies in the Arts and Humanities, part of the College of Arts and Letters here at Michigan State University. Welcome to the Collaborative Cafe, a podcast series produced during summer 2024 in which I consider why and how we might integrate generative artificial intelligence into our work with undergraduates and harness the potential of this exciting new tool, plus the benefits that it can bring to college and university classrooms. The ideas shared provide a snapshot in time of my ongoing reading, research, and related thinking around the role of GenAI in post-secondary education. Without a doubt, this will change over time as generative artificial intelligence itself continues to evolve and play a greater role in our daily lives. In the first program of this series, we pondered the question, what can GenAI contribute to student learning at the post-secondary level? In today's program, let's examine the closely related question, why? Why should post-secondary educators like us make a more conscious choice to integrate GenAI into course and classroom activities? A couple of additional questions naturally arise. Won't GenAI completely stifle learning and the development of critical thinking skills? And how do we monitor student use of GenAI to prevent cheating? I actually overheard a conversation between two colleagues to just that effect the other day. A valid concern, to be sure, but let's return to the point at hand for now. Why should we begin including GenAI in what we do with the students who populate our courses? Where exposure to and mastery of course content is concerned specifically, Eileen Wanley Lamb points out in her article, Embracing AI in Education, that rote memorization of facts is no longer an effective approach to learning. Rather, it is collaboration, learner-constructed knowledge, and authentic practices that engage and empower students. Careful inclusion of GenAI in our courses can help young minds cultivate the higher-order thinking skills necessary to thrive in the highly digitized 21st century. Keep in mind, too, that GenAI already is making its presence felt across and throughout the professional world. Lamb notes that the future is now, and with that sobering fact in mind, it's wise of us to prepare our students for it. Lamb continues, noting that GenAI can be used in various ways by instructors and their students to check comprehension, organize and summarize information, and assist with early assignment drafts, providing feedback of various kinds according to the questions students ask about their work. Significantly, she considers how GenAI can help students cultivate critical thinking skills through the scrutiny of AI-generated output in response to student prompts. There is real need, however, for both instructors and their students to discuss and be aware of both the legal and ethical implications when it comes to intellectual ownership. For all of the course and classroom changes that GenAI introduces, however, there are, Lamb feels, real possibilities for teaching, learning, and academic growth with the right approach. In his article, Preparing Students for the AI-Enhanced Workforce, Ray Schroeder looks at how GenAI in the classroom can be used to provide today's undergraduates with specific skills in use of the technology, which are directly relevant to the 21st century workplace that they will shortly inhabit. He points out that most occupations in the white-collar sector will, before too much longer, require the ability to use and work with AI in varying capacities, and that the current trend will only accelerate moving forward. While this development is already underway, many leaders in the business world feel that current employees nonetheless lack the skills necessary for the effective use of GenAI technology in their work. We need to prepare our students now, Schroeder feels, to help them become conversant with GenAI, enabling a seamless transition into their new employee roles post-graduation. Learning to prompt effectively, analyze, interpret, and evaluate the information provided by GenAI, Schroeder stresses, ought to become a key part of how 21st century educators train their students, regardless of specific course focus or intended major. What is necessary, he argues, is an organized approach that identifies key competencies with broad applications across many different fields that we can impart to students as they carry out their coursework. Likewise, teaching faculty need to upskill and educate themselves on how best to do that. Routine revision and ongoing discussion at all levels will help keep our new GenAI skills sharp as the technology evolves. It's just part of our continuing professional development, in other words. In Artificial Intelligence in Education, Promises and Implications for Teaching and Learning, authors Wayne Holmes, Maya Bialik, and Charles Fidel examine the broader discussion around GenAI and its anticipated influence on the world of education. They point out that GenAI is expected to transform virtually every industry as well as most human activities. With that in mind, they note, it's vital that we enable our students by helping them practice the skills necessary to navigate and use GenAI effectively. Our efforts will, in turn, help students grow with the technology and remain professionally relevant as GenAI continues to evolve and shape the world in which we live. Holmes, Bialik, and Fidel further discuss how digital literacy has become an almost inescapable facet of life in the 21st century. It is, therefore, vital that we educators endeavor to introduce our students to using digital technologies like GenAI as part of their coursework and help them do so in ways that actually contribute to their learning and skill acquisition. Our students may well be digital natives, but they do not always come to us fully conversant in the use of digital technologies in ways that best contribute to, for example, deeper learning, critical thinking, and creative problem solving. Post-secondary instructors are well placed, however, to provide students with guidance and opportunity for practice using GenAI in effective, transparent, and ethical ways, regardless of program or course focus. Always eager to learn what GenAI itself thinks about why college and university instructors should include the technology in their courses, I did a little experimenting and entered the following prompt to Google Gemini. Please explain why post-secondary instructors should strongly consider incorporating GenAI into their courses. What follows is a modified and greatly abbreviated version of its response. Quote, GenAI is a tool and should complement rather than replace traditional teaching methods. Thoughtful and strategic application is necessary, however. To begin with, GenAI can be used to create customized learning experiences for students because it can adapt to their individual strengths and weaknesses, providing more targeted instruction. Second, GenAI can create interactive and engaging learning materials in the form of simulations, virtual labs, or gamified exercises that enable students to participate more actively in the learning process. Third, GenAI-powered grading systems can also provide students with immediate and detailed feedback on their work. Next, GenAI can be used to create learning materials that are accessible to students with disabilities. For example, AI-powered captioning can be used to generate both transcripts and text-to-speech tools to read printed materials aloud, both of which can be easily scaled to accommodate large class sizes. And finally, GenAI can be used to introduce new concepts and ideas that better facilitate student engagement through creative writing prompts, design simulations, or new visualizations of data. In turn, these can help develop students' own critical thinking skills and curiosity about the world. End quote. WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century. If you find this podcast helpful, be sure to hit like, share, and subscribe. With all of the previous information in mind, my current attitude during May 2024, remember, is that GenAI is a potentially useful tool with which students can examine and refine their thinking about course content. Just like pencil and paper, a chalkboard, or personal computers and the internet before it. Perhaps more important, teaching and encouraging our students to use GenAI in an effective, transparent, and ethical way as part of their academic work imparts highly relevant real-world skills actively sought by employers in the 21st century. If that idea seems shocking, keep in mind that GenAI is having an effect on our personal and professional lives already, although we might not necessarily think about it. Consider for a moment applications like Grammarly, Siri, and Alexa, turn on the lights, Alexa, plus the streaming services and related recommender systems that drive Netflix, YouTube, or Spotify, for example. To say nothing of spell and grammar checkers in Microsoft Word and other word processing programs that many of us have used almost daily since the mid-1990s. As educators, our work with students involves not only teaching our specific course content, but it should also include the cultivation of highly transferable skills that students will need to function after graduation in the professional world and contribute to it. GenAI is already a part of that environment to one degree or another. It would therefore be remiss of us to ignore that fact and avoid providing students with multiple opportunities to cultivate the skills necessary for clear, effective, and honest use of generative artificial intelligence. Before we sign off then, let's quickly revisit the points outlined in today's program. 1. Thoughtful inclusion of generative artificial intelligence in our courses can help young minds cultivate the higher-order thinking skills necessary to thrive in our globalized digital world. 2. GenAI can be used to provide undergraduates with specific skills already in demand within the white-collar sector, a trend that is projected to increase the further into the 21st century society moves. Thirdly, it is vital that post-secondary educators provide students with the skills necessary to navigate and use GenAI and grow with the technology in order to maintain professional relevance. Finally, critical inclusion of GenAI in course and classroom activities allows instructors to tailor content and assessments more effectively and easily to student needs. Based on that information, my own feeling is that GenAI can contribute in a favorable way to teaching and learning practices, but we must take thoughtful steps to ensure that our students have the opportunity to become well-versed in its honest and ethical use. And with that, we come to the end of this second program in a short series of podcast episodes on how and why we might integrate generative artificial intelligence into our work with students. Join me next time when we'll look more closely at how post-secondary instructors and students might use GenAI as part of their teaching and learning practices. Until then, my name is Stokes Schwartz, and thank you for joining me in the Collaborative Cafe. Have a healthy, safe, and productive week, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye for now. You've just heard a podcast from WSTKS-FM Worldwide. Digital collaborative learning for the 21st century.